emerge in Dr. Michael Newton's books are that every one of us has a soul, and that soul is clearly aware that it has a spiritual agenda it wishes to fulfill in each lifetime. No matter how lost or confused we may feel that we are, even if we're homeless on the side of the street or desperately wrapped up in a world of addiction and pain and crime, we all know that we have a job on this planet. And ultimately that job is to learn to love. And if we don't get it in one lifetime, we'll keep coming back over and over again. It seems that once we've done this enough times and we really get the point about loving others, that we go through graduation. This is what the 2012 prophecies are really about. The planet itself moves through an energetic transformation where if you're ready, you don't ever need to reincarnate again in this human body, but you move into a new world. Dr. Michael Newton's books explain that everyone's soul energy must learn to balance itself within the physical body. The energies of the physical body have their own biases, creating an egoic mind. That mind is based on the experiences, the traumas, and the expectations that you've built up throughout one lifetime. You also have a mind within your soul that is working behind the scenes to transmute your ego mind and raise it to a much higher level of evolution. Your soul's mind works its magic and will ultimately integrate and transform your personality in order for you to reach enlightenment. Another key concept that I would encourage you to explore is what I refer to as the Fool's Equation. This equation says that if I get X, whatever X might be, then I will be happy. Well, this is really silly, because if you're wishing for something that hasn't happened yet, and you decide that once that thing happens that you will be happy in the future, then you never claim any happiness in the now. So what I do is to turn that equation backwards. If I am whole, peaceful, and happy now, then I will get X, whatever it is that I want. Or as many others have said, you create a loving space within yourself, which then allows loving energy to fill it. Another very interesting clue that can help us evolve spiritually at a rapid speed can be found in the archetype within the tarot cards called the Lovers. These archetypes, according to the Law of One, actually represent patterns within the mind of the galaxy. The galaxy itself has set up these 22 patterns of thought that we are meant to evolve through as we become enlightened. The archetype known as the Lovers features on the tarot card a woman, a man, and then over them, an angelic being. The deeper meaning behind this card is of a choice that we make within ourselves as to how we will approach our higher self. Do we see our higher self as a maiden, virginal and pure, or do we see it as a prostitute? If we treat our higher self as a maiden, then the idea is that we listen to what she wants, and we learn to dance with her wishes accordingly in order to get what both of us want. Whereas if we treat our higher self as a prostitute, we barge in the door and say, this is what you're going to do for me, and this is what I expect. Obviously, by treating the higher self as a maiden, you actually learn to tailor your expectations from life. So you're not just saying to the universe, gimme, gimme, gimme. You're actually learning to listen to what your higher self may have as an agenda for you. You may not immediately realize why these things are valuable, but the more that you learn to adopt them, the better off you're going to be. Another very important concept that really helps you prepare for this shift that we're now moving through is what I refer to as the original wound. I discovered a long time ago through deep meditation on the human condition that we all have the same basic wounding at the core of our soul. This wounding appears to be the root of all addictive and compulsive behaviors that we would ever get stuck in. This original wound is an illusion, but it becomes very compelling to us, and it buries deep within our subconscious mind to the point that we don't even realize it's there. This wound comes from the sense that the Creator has abandoned us, and we've been left exposed and unprotected on this planet. This wound comes from the fact that we often see our parents as if they were gods when we're a little child. Invariably, our parents are going to disappoint us, and we're going to have painful experiences where we feel abandoned, left alone, that our needs are not being met, that nobody really seems to care about us, and we invariably project that same disappointment onto the Creator. This in turn leads to what I call the wheel of karma, where we keep repeating the same painful experiences over and over again. In fact, what always seems to happen is that new characters keep appearing in our lives who fulfill the same roles on a deep archetypal level as our parents once did. Now, we may not become conscious of this. We may not realize that that's what's happening to us. We think that these people in our lives are different one from the other. But we start to notice that it seems like we have bad luck, or that there's a theme that keeps repeating in our lives. Why is it that I always end up here in this same spot? And the same things keep happening over and over again. Isn't it ever going to change? Well, believe it or not, in my estimation, the universe is here to teach us love and forgiveness. And there's a very essential statement made within the Law of One series where it says, in forgiveness lies the stoppage of the wheel of karma. The wheel of karma represents this rotating series of experiences that we keep going through, where over and over again we meet with the result of what we've created. But it's only once we learn forgiveness that the wheel actually stops rotating when it reaches the top, and we don't have to keep collapsing into the dark night of the soul, as it's called, over and over again. Our lives become increasingly blessed and magical, and the experiences that used to make us seem so overwhelmed no longer have an effect on us, and therefore they don't need to happen. It's also extremely